Counting down the hits with Kasem. Counting down the hits with Kasem.
Now, we're up to the song called Wherever You Will Go by a band whose founders didn't have to go far to get started in show business. All they had to do was stroll over to their neighbor's backyard. The first album for the group The Calling is titled Camino Palmero. That's the name of the street that one of the group's founders, singer Alex Band, lived on in the Hollywood Hills. Along with guitar player Aaron Kamen, he formed a band, and they started practicing. At the same time, Alex and Aaron noticed a house down the street that had limos coming and going. Alex was curious. He walked over to the house and asked the woman who lived there what was going on. She told him her husband was the head of A&R at RCA Records. Well, this seemed like a great opportunity. If he could give the boys some advice, they might actually have a chance. So they recorded a demo, and they put it in his mailbox. And they waited. And they waited, but no response. So they finally went to their neighbor's mailbox and taped their demo to his mail. This time, they heard something. He called to tell Alex and Aaron, quote, "I loved your tape. I want to meet you." And that fateful meeting led to a record deal. This week, the first hit from their first album on RCA Records moves up 2 notches to number 32 on our survey. Here's The Calling with Wherever You Will Go.
American Top 20.
At number 19 for a second week is The Calling, a 5-man group whose founders, Alex Band and Aaron Kamen, want to emphasize that The Calling isn't a duo with 3 backup musicians. Alex says, quote, "We work together on everything. Everyone is fully involved." Here's The Calling with Our Lives.
Use your love tonight.
America's Top Hits.
This week back in 2002, one of the top hits in the USA was Wherever You Will Go. It's by a band that says in their early days they'd have played to empty clubs were it not for their relatives. The members of the band called The Calling say that despite what may seem like overnight success, they spent plenty of time as an unknown band. They'd often look out at the small audience who showed up for their club dates and see no one there but their parents, their siblings, some aunts and uncles, and a bunch of cousins. Their family members knew that if this band were going to succeed, it was going to need an audience, even if that audience was there out of family obligation. Well, that family loyalty paid off. This week back in 2002, The Calling had one of the top hits in the USA. Here's Wherever You Will Go.
American Top 20.
We're counting down the hottest hits in the land this week. Well, now we're up to an American Top 20 extra by The Calling, a band whose lead singer grew up in a modern Hollywood mansion and an ancient Italian castle. Alex Band is the son of horror film producer Charles Band. As a producer, Charles Band is wildly prolific. His name is on more than 230 horror films. He's a Hollywood powerhouse, and he's lived the life of a successful Hollywood producer, which is how his son Alex Band came to grow up in a mansion in the Hollywood Hills, and when his family went abroad, it was often to stay at the castle they owned in Italy. Alex says, quote, "It wasn't a big castle, but it was a castle dating back to the Middle Ages. It's less elegant than it sounds, but when you say you live in a castle, people's mouths drop open." Now, with an extra, here's Alex Band of The Calling with a song created in his other home, the studio, from 2002, Wherever You Will Go.
American Top 20.
These are the hits from 20 to number 1. Well, now we're up to an American Top 20 extra by The Calling. The lead singer's girlfriend went into a mall for presents and came out with a proposal. It was back in 2002. Alex Band had been dating actress Jennifer Skye, and though their relationship was growing, Alex decided he had to call it off. He says, "I was on the road all the time. I didn't feel it was fair to her, so I told her it just wasn't working." Well, what Alex considered an act of generosity caused a lot of pain for both of them. He says, "I regretted it like crazy. I realized I had to win her back." And so Alex came up with a plan. He knew that Jennifer was in Florida, working on a TV show. He flew to Miami. He found out where Jennifer was going to be when he arrived, and he decided to give her a surprise she would never forget. Quote, "It was just before the holidays. She was at a local mall shopping for presents. When she walked out of a store, I was waiting with a song for her called Hold On to You. I played it, told her I loved her, and asked her to marry me." Well, they were married a year later. And that song? Well, it'll be on Alex's upcoming solo album. Now, with an extra, here's The Calling with a love song from 2002, Wherever You Will Go.
So lately